This research studies the interaction of the brain and body and how they affect each other when either one of them is active. There are 3 parts. The first part is how we know the brain changes when we meditate. The second research question is how we know there is communication between the brain and body. The third part is where I compare the experiments done on this subject. Human brain cells generate electricity to communicate with each other, and this electrical activity forms patterns called brain waves. EEG scanned the brain images of meditating people to see brain activity. There are 5 levels of brain waves: gamma, beta, alpha, theta, and delta. Delta waves occur during sleep, transitioning into theta, and then alpha waves occur in a relaxed state. Beta waves are associated with alertness, and gamma waves occur during a hyper-focused state. Scientists use sensors on the scalp to read the brain's activity. How do we understand the communication between the brain and body? Neurofeedback is a specific type of biofeedback that works by measuring and helping you learn to manipulate brainwave patterns. Neurofeedback teaches you to consciously control your brain waves to achieve a desired brainwave state. The brain has neurotransmitters, which are chemicals from your brain. The brain uses neurotransmitters to tell your heart to beat, your lungs to breathe, your stomach to digest, and so on. What are the functions of major neurotransmitters? Acetylcholine, dopamine, norepinephrine, and epinephrine communicate information throughout the body and brain. Acetylcholine affects movement, learning, memory, and REM cycle. Alzheimer's disease is associated with a lack of acetylcholine. Serotonin affects mood, sleep, appetite, impulsivity, and aggression. Imbalances in serotonin correlates with depression, suicide, and impulsive behavior. Dopamine affects movement, memory, sleep, mood, attention, learning, reinforcement, and pleasure. Low dopamine is correlated with Parkinson's disease. Norepinephrine plays a role in mood disorders such as manic depression. With epinephrine, long-term stress can cause epinephrine levels to be depleted. Epinephrine also regulates heart rate and blood pressure. Inside the brain is a limbic system. How does the limbic system work when you meditate? How the brain produces neurotransmitters and how the neurotransmitters transport throughout your body. The limbic system is divided into 4 parts: the thalamus, hypothalamus, endocrine glands, and hippocampus amygdala. Signals move through the hypothalamus to the autonomic nervous system and then goes one of 2 ways. First, the sympathetic, which produces epinephrine and norepinephrine, or 2, the parasympathetic, which produces acetylcholine. The latter route connects to the brain stem and produces serotonin, dopamine, and more acetylcholine. Dr. Nataraja's research using electroencephalograms demonstrates that entering a meditative state can bring about calmness and the stilling of internal chatter. Alpha brain wave activity tends to activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which means less stress and therefore better heart health. In TED Talks, neuroscientist Sarah Lazar showed her work on meditation and the brain. How meditation can reshape our brains. Lazar's amazing brain scans show meditation can actually change the size of key regions of our brain, improving our memory and making us more empathetic, compassionate, and resilient under stress. Tom Ireland from Scientific American. MRI scans show that after completing an 8-week mindfulness meditation program, the amygdala appears to shrink. Advanced meditators report feeling significantly less pain than non-meditators. Yet, scans of their brains show slightly more activity in areas associated with pain than those of non-meditators. Dr. James H. Austin, Transcendental Meditation. Regular meditative practice can reduce blood cortisol and norepinephrine levels. Mindfulness meditation. After completing an 8-week meditation program, cancer patients exhibited significant improvement in their overall quality of life, in their stress symptoms, and in the quality of their sleep. Zen meditation. Calculations based on subjects' heart rate variability suggested that they developed greater degrees of frontal midline theta activity when their sympathetic nervous system was less engaged. This graph is based on Shunyata meditation studied by Master Thich Thom Jit. When you meditate, it affects your brain. The brain stimulates the autonomic nervous system. According to the master, if you use awareness when you meditate, you will activate the parasympathetic nervous system. Otherwise, concentration will activate the sympathetic system. Conclusion. Buddhist philosophy stresses impermanence, which shows us that our bodies are subject to the changing processes of nature. Overall, studies comparing EEG scans of meditators discovered that central nervous system function is clearly affected by meditation, but the specific neural changes and differences among practices are far from clear.